Hi guys, and welcome back to Parts and Move. For today's episode, we've got an exciting game against Chelsea here at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. And if you missed the last episode, we played against Leicester City. They're now currently in the relegation zone, but the game itself was decent. A 1-0 win over them. You should definitely check out. I'll give you a quick update on what's been going on since then. We'll quickly have a look at the Premier League table first. As you can see here, everyone's played 12 games, so everyone, no one has a game advantage or anything like that. But we are level on points. So from the first position to the sixth, it's only 3 points separating the teams. So it's really tight this season. I think everyone's really going for it. And it's going to be tough to win this one, basically. We started off poorly, but we've managed to go on a nice little winning run. And we'll show you what happened since the last episode. So as you can see for yourselves here, just plenty of greens, basically. Just one draw, plenty of wins, number of clean sheets as well. So that was nice to see. And let's get into the first one. So it's the Champions League game. We've secured qualification. And I mentioned last episode that we might be showing you guys the replay, well, not the replay, but the away game, I think it is, of the Juventus one, but it just didn't really make sense since we've already secured qualification. But yeah, this game we dominated, and we should have scored more, but we got a goal through Paul Pogba and Tahith Chong, who's just been an incredible player for us this season. Ready for Premier League, and he's just jumped straight into the first team as if it's no big deal. And again, he's managed to score in Aston Villa game 2, the 49th minute, and Henrik Mkhitaryan, who actually has retired from his international football. So you see here, he's just recently retired, only in this month, just a couple of days as well. But he's doing well this season as well with a number of assists and chipping in with a few goals too. If it ever loads, we'll be able to show you the next games too. But really, I just want to go through them quite quickly and just get into today's game, basically, because it's going to be a nice little game. And this was another one that we dominated statistically. Anyways, in the end of the day, only thing that matters is the scoreline. And 2-0 wins in a row. Anthony Martial managing a brace here. Quite the dominant performance against Liverpool as well, so it was a nice home win for us. They hardly had a sniff at goal, and then we managed to beat the German team BMG. I'd say their full name, but that's a bit tough. This game was just incredible. It was just a mess of a game, really. We managed to score first through Tahith Chong, and then they scored through Lars Stindl, and then we managed to get another goal, but then they scored just before half-time, so that made things a bit difficult. We went into the break 2-2, and they were just really dangerous on the attack, but we managed to score a late winner through Anthony Martial in the 83rd minute. We did have the majority of the chances, but they just had equal clear-cut chances at 4 pieces each, so you can imagine how open this game was. And it's quite surprising to see that the City game was the complete opposite, not open whatsoever. A 0-0 draw, quite the boring game in truth. Nothing crazy really happened. 2 clear-cut chances for either side, and no one proved themselves to be clinical. But a draw away from home, you can respect that against one of the top teams. Wasn't too bad a result, and what followed was a good result against Hull, who are in the Championship. 4-0 win. James Wilson managing to get on the score sheet himself. He was filling in for Anthony Martial, who got a little bit tired after that run of games. James Wilson made himself known, basically, and he's also managed the brace here to give us a win against Stoke. A comeback win recently, really. Solomon Rondon scoring first in the 18th minute, but we managed to come back within 2 goals within 3 minutes, basically. And we, even though Stoke dominated the clear-cut chances, we dominated everything else in terms of possession and shots and all that sort of stuff. Point is, we won the game. And then BMG was another open game, but less so. So we managed to win. We basically went into half-time with 4 goals up. So I thought we were going to cruise, but in the second half was a terrible display from my players. They switched up their formation too, but I didn't expect it to cause that much trouble, but they did manage to score 2 goals again, so it's like as if we've got a weakness spot for them, basically, because every other team we haven't really conceded much through. And yeah, what followed was the 4-0 win against Norwich. Nice dominant win. The Premier League sent us up to first position, but the other teams haven't played their games just yet. After they played, we ended up in second spot. But yeah, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Chris Smalling all getting on the clean sheet. We did get a clean sheet, but they didn't get on the clean sheet. They managed to score through all those clear-cut chances that we managed to make. The Chelsea game would have been of more significance early on in the season because they were first place, but I think they lost their most recent game, which is against Liverpool. And we do have a chance to go ahead of everyone today because no one plays until tomorrow, so put some pressure. Tottenham's game is relatively easy against Aston Villa. West Ham play Manchester City, so that could be telling as well. And Arsenal, let me see if I can find them. Arsenal play Middlesbrough, and I think that pretty much completes the top 6. So if we manage to beat Chelsea, it could be quite a crucial result because Tottenham in their next Premier League game they play Liverpool, and we also face them soon. So we never know. If we win these games, we can definitely hold on to the top spot, and hopefully some other teams here will start dropping points because they're starting to really develop a serious gap here between first place and last place. Is an incredible 25 points, and it's only been 12 games to the season. The good news is a lot of people are losing, so it's not too bad that we lost to Newcastle and Watford, but yeah, I mean, obviously we'd rather have avoided it. If we did win, we'd obviously be top. But anyways, let's get into today's game. I'll show you quickly who we'll be playing with. Axel Tuanzebe has been an incredible player for us. He's also switched nationalities to be an England player. He's Congolese, I think, originally. Apparently Chelsea are the favourites for the game in terms of the odds, but the expert expects us to win, and I would expect us to win too. They've still got Oscar, Diego Costa, they bought in Dembele as well. Some standout names that we recognise basically. Thankfully they're not playing with Hazard, who always manages to score against us for some reason. But let me quickly show you our lineup as well actually. So yeah, we're going to go with James Wilson up front. Mata, Mkhitaryan, Chong, Herrera, Verratti, Darmian, Jones, Tuanzebe and Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. The reason being is that a number of players are basically exhausted after coming back from the recent international break. Some first teamers have previously performed well, such as Smalling. Even Neil Olver was playing well quite recently. Lingard, I'm not sure why he's tired, to be honest. I think it's because I played him in under 23 game. But yeah, Martial exhausted there too. Marcus Rashford, Pogba, all of them. So we're missing some key players because of that international break. But hopefully the backup players who have proved capable of playing will perform today too. And I'm going to give them some inspiration of trying to prove the critics wrong. I do not want another away draw, even though it's a decent result against another top team. We still want to be able to beat the top teams and not just draw against them as we drew against Arsenal and City. But yeah, let's get into today's game. See what happens, whether my players can step up to the occasion. We're going to get a nice little 3D intro here, and let's have a quick look at Diego Costa. He's 31 years old now, so hopefully his age comes into a factor basically, and hopefully we can capitalize that and go on to win. We're going to get an early highlight here, and Chelsea are the ones with the ball. Looks like they're going to have a nice early shot, and Charlie Masunda, I think he's in the Chelsea Academy product, but he's just blazed that way over our goal. And we're coming up to 15 minutes here, so we're going to switch to control mentality, see if we can press on. Chelsea having the majority of the shots. We have had one half chance, but if you don't score those, they don't really matter. And it looks like James Wilson's picked up an early injury, a twisted knee. We're going to have to substitute him at halftime. See what we can do. Bring on Anthony Martial, who is our first choice striker anyways. But yeah, let's hope that it doesn't factor too much in. Chelsea, God knows what was going on there actually. I thought they were going to score for sure, but that was just an incredible messy bit of play there through David De Gea. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do. I think he went to collect the ball, but he just missed it completely. Mkhitaryan switches the play, but it looks like it's not going to amount to much as we come into half time here. And Chelsea are going to get a quick set piece chance, and it looks like Axel Tuanzebe, who has been an incredible centre back for us so far this season, has given away a penalty, and that is poor by the youngster, by the Manchester United youngster. They're going to get a penalty here, but David De Gea saved plenty, and I have some faith in him. Hopefully, he cannot save it. Okay, never mind that. But yeah, he saved a number of penalties this season already, so I was hoping he could save that too. Unfortunately, can't do that at all anymore. And fair play to him for guessing the right way at least. I think he could have got his hand on that, but either way, 1-0 down in the half-time. It gives me a bit of license to scream at my players. I mean, I would have screamed at them if we went half-time 0-0 draw, but now I have more reason to be upset, basically. Hopefully they can respond. I'm going to bring off James Wilson now for Anthony Martial. Sure, Martial's tired, but he can definitely play 45 minutes. I mean, he's only 89%, so not too bad. But yeah, let's see whether my players can respond here. Going to get a nice early highlight. And it's Chelsea with the ball. Herrera does well to win it back, but he's lost it immediately, and it's a through ball to Costa, who's going to punish us for it for sure, and he does, and now we have to immediately respond. To go foot up, attacking. Let's see if my players can do something special here and turn this game around, basically. If we manage to score 2 goals now, that wouldn't be too bad. I'm hoping for 3, but as you can see, we've had this habit of letting players get in behind us, and I think it has to do something with my centre-back's poor reading of the game. I mean, Axel Tuanzebe is young, so you can excuse that, but Jones not really, and his rating is immediately dropped. And it is another Chelsea highlight. Maybe we can win this ball back nice and early and come back. And Darmian does exactly like that, and Martial's going to hit them on the counter. He's going to go all the way, plays Mkhitaryan through, and Mkhitaryan loses the ball out to Zuma, and it's now Chelsea who are on the counter-attack, and suddenly we look vulnerable. Diego Costa goes through one player, and it looks like I think Jones tucked that in himself. Gonna get another highlight to see it here, but 2 shots in 55 minutes of play is not good whatsoever. God knows what happened there, and then God knows what happens here through Borthwick Jackson as well. It is not, I thought Borthwick Jackson tucked that in himself, but it is a Chelsea goal through and through. We are 3-0 down. It looks like we'll be losing this game. A poor performance from my defenders, who've done well so far this season. We've got a number of wow, that would have been an incredible goal from Tahith Chong. We had a number of clean sheets, so I expected my players to press on, and I never thought we would concede 3 goals whatsoever. Darmian's feeling a bit tired, so we're going to bring on Mario Fernandes, and we have 1 substitute left. You know what? Normally I would make an attacking change, but I'm thinking 3-0 up, we don't stand a chance of coming back, especially with how we've performed so far. I mean, I don't expect us to, so I'm thinking of resting the players that need a rest rather than bringing on players. I think I'll just let the players who performed poorly pretty much, I don't know how to phrase this, but like handle the atmosphere, basically the poor atmosphere, whatever, basically just wallow in self-pity because of how they've performed. Subbing them off is like giving them an excuse to run away, essentially. And they've switched formation here. For some reason they've gone a bit more, I mean, they've got 3 in the back, but they've got 2 up front, so they're a little bit more, somewhat more attacking. But yeah, it's 3-0. I don't see us coming back now. 20 minutes left to the game. My players haven't responded to even the half-time team talk, so it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it looks like we might get a highlight here, and instead we don't. It's Marcos Alonso who wins the ball back, and Fekir is going to bring it forward. My defenders have, look at that, another through ball again, and David De Gea does really well to deal with that there, but it's just incredible how many times we're exposed through balls. It's almost like my centre-backs have no anticipation through playing through balls, basically, and it looks like Mkhitaryan's given away another, he's not given away 2 penalties, but it is another penalty to Chelsea, and Diego Costa has a chance to turn this into a proper hammering with a 4th goal, and maybe David De Gea can save this one. We'll get another chance, and he does, and that's exactly why he's considered a world-class goalkeeper. I think he's 28 years of age now, and starting to hit into his peak age, basically, and we're going to have a world-class goalkeeper for ages, really. I don't see him going anywhere. He doesn't seem unhappy. I've also forgot to mention that we've managed to sign a contract extension. The board giving me the maximum number of years they can give. I think it was 4 or 5 years, something like that, and I just signed it immediately, of course. But yeah, this game is going to end 3-0 to Chelsea, and we're going to drop down the table. maybe the other teams can, perform poorly. But Chelsea have responded well to losing their top spot, and it looks like they're going to be going top first. And an away defeat, 3-0 away defeat. This game could possibly put us only 3 points behind top spot, so that's not too bad. But I was hoping to see a nice win here, and we've already lost 3 times this season. It's not even halfway through the Premier League game, basically. But James Wilson's injury, just a little bit serious, 2 to 3 weeks, not too bad. Our next game is going to be Juventus. Yeah, Chelsea go top of the Premier Division. Let me just show you the poor performances. Some of them have stepped up after the performance rating's gone a little bit higher, but the only players that can really say anything is David De Gea and Darmian. Even David De Gea didn't have an incredible game, still a 6.8, but solid nonetheless. Darmian is the only one who had a fine game, basically. And yeah, 4 shots throughout 90 minutes, only 2 of them on target, barely any possession. Not pleasing whatsoever. But yeah, in terms of when we'll be back, just about same way as always, about 7 games from now. So if we say Bournemouth, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It depends on what goes on here, but we might show any one of these 3 games here: Everton, Middlesbrough, and West Ham, depending on what's more important. It's likely we're going to show you the West Ham game, just because they've become a bit of rivals for us, as if you've been following the series so far. And but the main reason is because they are in the Champions League spots, and there's a possibility that they could go into top spot themselves. So you never know, but playing any one of these teams will be exciting. Everton away is going to be a tough fixture for sure. Middlesbrough maybe not so much, but you never know. They've beaten us before. We can have actually a quick look at the past meetings. It looks like I was completely wrong. We've beaten them every single time, and I'm not sure why I said they've beaten us before. I think I'm thinking about another team. But anyways, I think that'll be all for today. You guys can have a quick look at the Champions group here. It looks like Juventus should be the ones to qualify alongside me, but they've been pretty poor. They've lost twice to us and AZ. So, they're definitely, when we play them, they're definitely going to want to try and perform. We've managed the minimum 12 points needed to qualify, and I think we're the only team out of all the groups to get 12 points. Yep, we are. So we've done really well in the Champions League. Hopefully we can go pretty far in that competition. We're only expected to reach the quarterfinal, which we did last season, but I'm hoping to see us go even further into the semis, or possibly even the finals. But let's see if I can give you a quick update on how everyone's performing so far. So Anthony Martial definitely leading the way with goals, but as I mentioned before, Tahith Chong capitalizing on Marcus Rashford's injury, and he's exactly the type of player that you want. When you have a backup player, you want them to come into the side and take advantage of their chances, and not as Depay, Blind or Rojo did, who whenever they came into the side didn't really perform. I think Rojo we can give a bit of credit to, but he sometimes has performed well, held his own, but most times his form will just drop off. But Tahith Chong has shown that he's not going to be dropping out of this side anytime soon, and I think Rashford will start complaining about game time soon, to be honest. Yeah, 6 goals, he's second in charge. In terms of assists, it's going to be Mkhitaryan, Mata, Rashford, all there, all performing well. In terms of average ratings, everyone's been performing quite decently, only a number of players who haven't performed well. Jesse Lingard definitely going to be sold next year. Neil Oliver struggling a little bit. Unlike Tahith Chong, he's a regen, and he's struggling a little bit to get into the side. Performing decently. He is suited to Premier League football, and he is expected to become a really good player, but yeah. Lingard, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson's story this season so far. Ferrari's been strange as well, hasn't really performed. Eric Bailly not taking advantage of anyone really. But yeah, I think that'll be all for today's episode. So if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching.